I had to play that because uh, yesterday's stream I played that, and apparently someone somewhere in the world decided to copyright claim that, and that song is public domain. And actually, it was public domain owned by the federal government of the United States. So, yeah, I got the receipts.
Wow. This is
Yeah,
see that's the problem when it's AI doing this stuff and not an
yeah,
actual human because the AI is not sure of what a human can look up. That's the
yeah,
biggest problem with
exactly.
this AI stuff, but we won't get
Yeah.
into that because that's a
No,
rabbit hole for a
tell me
whole
about
other
it.
show.
Tell me about it. So, looks like my good friend Willie popped in. I'm going to pull him up to the stream. Add him in here. Willie, you there?
There he is.
Come in,
His
over and out. We
his mic
can't
is
hear you,
off.
Willie.
I've been there.
We can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, I know. Now you can.
There you
Perfectly
go.
clear. You know,
Come
there's this
on
thing.
now.
There's this listen. I'm a damn primate, okay? Press here, go here, mute there.
There you go.
Mr. Nickweiser, evening.
Hello. Evening to you.
Yeah, Willie, this is Nick. Nick, this is Willie P. Rivers.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Awesome.
So let's get down to business. So I'm going to do the slideshow here. But I was talking to Nick in the backstage about this, but this series, this magazine was started in 1964, published by Peterson Publishing. And Peterson Publishing was big into automotive stuff, cars and stuff like that. I think they did several different magazines. Basic mainstream magazines for automotive and stuff like that. But they also did this for 10 years. Again, 64. Mostly it was about hot rods, drag racing, things like this. So here, Nick, this is the cover of my book.
Okay. This is your book. This is your creation.
This is my book that I had since '73.
Oh, that you've owned. You've owned.
That I've owned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is basically the first comic that I believe I was ever given.
Wow.
When
I
was
like
a
the
kid, so-
animation on it. I really like how it looks with the
the
cover.
artist here, and this is I don't know if you saw my avatar. This gentleman here at the bottom, that is the actual artist. And so on all these covers, you have that. Yeah. His name was George Lemons, but he was known as Pappy. So he went by Pappy. And so he would be, as you see in the top right corner, you see three faces. He's the middle one. I have yet to figure out who the other two guys were. And in some magazines on the cover, they had five guys. They had these three plus two others. I'm assuming they're the artists. I'm assuming they have some something to contribute to the magazine or the issues as way as artists or something like that. But it's kind of funny. They had this is the only one I had. Basically, all I have. I'll pull it out in a minute and I'll show you. It's kind of funny, but the slideshow doesn't really do it justice. And I'll pull up the PDF in a minute. But I wanted to show you all the different. We'll go over all this art here in the PDF. You can see it much clearer. This is my camera shot. So I took photos of the inside of my magazine, but I have the PDFs up so it's clear. So here's the art, the cover art of these guys. And so this one here, I think that says 10-year anniversary issue. I think that was one of their last issues for 74. But we'll go through the cover here. They did stuff for Baja 500.
Ooh, I like this cover here on the left. I mean, maybe it's obviously it's a bit of a clear scan, but I love you can really feel the action in that cover. You can feel the grit in it too. Here. And look at you can see all the car parts too.
Yeah,
that is drawing, my friend. That is drawing. I love that, and and especially to see all vehicles moving so fast in a hot deserty type of area, bro.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Oh my God, we got a ton of people in the chat. Holy smokes!
Good.
I'm falling behind on the chat. Oh my gosh.
Who cares? Can we just do our
No.
thing? Forget the chat.
No.
Let's do our thing.
No,
hey guys,
no.
thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi
we
guys.
We got to do this too. So, Sharon Noble, huge
Great
quest.
guy.
How's it going? Thank you for stopping in. I know this guy, Abby somebody, Abby someone.
Hey,
yeah,
Abby.
he's going. And my buddy from Scotland, Crow Beer, you're awake? I thought you were going to be in bed, dude.
You need to go to bed, Crow.
I know. You need to go to bed, Crow. Yeah, holy smokes, man. So, yeah, we got, let's see. Yeah, so cool. Let's do this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So yeah, all the artwork was done. I think who actually drew the art was Pappy Lemons. And there's another gentleman that worked with him. The last name was Thompson. I haven't been able to find the first name, but I'm assuming he might have been the colorist doing all the colors. But they had fantastic, just fantastic cover art for these. And I found about half of them. I think there's 60 issues. I think I've got about 25 covers. So you've got like here on the left, the freeway opening. So obviously this is Southern California. So Southern California back in the day when they were opening freeways and everything, like the 5, the 10, the 8 and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny. There's Pappy Lemons in his drag racer. Ready to go.
That's fun, dude. These are like really fun books. That's what I like about the common thing with all the action and the hysteria. They all look fun. And that's something like, obviously it was something that's been kind of beaten to death, but for good reason. But it looks like it's actual escapism. And it looks
it is.
You get away and see this hysteria and the hijinks and just take yourself out of the element and just see the crazy become possible in art format.
Yeah, I tell you what, these guys right here, the more that I've learned or researched this magazine and then Pappy Lemons and people like that were associated with other artists, they were car people. They were car people first, and they were artists, that did what they loved. And so the sign of the times was like, there's a lot of references to, and a lot of people don't know this, but back in the 1970s, throughout the whole decade, there was an energy crisis. Gas was rationed back in the 1970s. We think it's high price now? Yeah, it is higher price per se than back then, but they would ration you, like they had odd and even days based on your license plate. They had maximum amount of gas you could get, like 3 or 5 gallons. It was pretty nasty, and they actually reference this in a couple of the books. So, but they made light of everything. It was funny. There's one we're definitely going to see in the PDF show. It's good. You'll get a kick out of it. But seeing the art here, and obviously they got the chicks. So there's chicks in the back of that pickup truck, and it's like. The one on the right there. So you got a guy in a bucket. He's going to drag race. They're all catching air. And Pappy's like, hell yeah. And he's got chicks in the back. He doesn't care. He wants a race. It's a guy thing,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then over here on the left, you see Pappy in the drag racer. And he's like checking out the chick waving. It's like, and then if you see the character right next to her on the left, the guy with the sombrero.
Yes,
you would not see that. You would not see that.
No,
today.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Wookie, because it reminds me of a character that we don't see of, I guess you could say, of that culture, who was very popular, Speedy Gonzalez, if you remember. So obviously that was a very popular character. And then, of course, certain demographics got mad about the character, and it wasn't the Latino crowd. And if you actually ask actual Latinos,
I know
he's considered like a historical icon. And it's a Latino person probably see this as just some goofy character that's part of the story, but you'll see some white crazy leftists, and they'll say like, "You gotta do something about that."
And that's the funny thing because. And this is something that you brought that Speedy Gonzalez up. That basically was a hero.
Oh,
He wasn't
absolutely.
a
It's
fool.
iconic.
He wasn't a fool. He wasn't an idiot. Yeah, okay. Mel Blanc portrayed him with a thick Mexican accent. Okay. We all know we get it. So
He's
what?
being culturally
Time to
accurate,
time.
if anything.
Yep,
If anything, he's being
exactly.
culturally accurate.
Exactly. But Sylvester was the stupid boob. He was the idiot.
Oh, Sylvester's
Or the duck or whatever. Whoever was trying to go after whoever's trying to go after Speedy was always the fool, was always the foil. Speedy always won. And he was always the hero. He was always smart, And but it's funny because this character here, I think this might be the guy on the cover that I showed you earlier. You saw the guy with the hat on the cover. I think this might be this guy. But you see again, you see the thing is it's chicks racing. I mean, that was the thing back in the 60s, early 70s. It was all cars and broads and booze, man. So couldn't get any better than that. I mean, and they were the original rebels.
Love it.
Think about it, the original metalheads. This is the funniest one. I love the one on the left. He's in the souped up freaking asphalt, smoother there. That huge freaking, like probably a 12 freaking valve engine right there. And he's like chasing the other guy. And these guys here, of course, these are the three main characters. But it's just freaking hilarious. And then you see on the left or the right, you see Pappy's over there saying, "Don't fuck it up." And they slam the pickup truck because they both see this chick over here, and they're all running to go check out the chick. It's like, screw the car. Well, wait, the broad's over here. We got to go check her out. But and again, it's the same cast of characters you can see on the cover. Pappy and these two guys and the Mexican guy, and then over here on the right, it's the same three guys, goofing around. But like again, I think that these other characters outside of Pappy had something to do with the magazine because they were recurring in a lot of issues, and we'll see those guys, drawn differently depending on who the artist was. So in the magazine, so it's cool. Here's another one here. It's a guy thing on the right hand side. Check out the right. So Pappy's driving and he's screeching out, peeling out. Some guy is standing there watering his lawn or whatever. He's got his buckets. It's like, come on, bro, come on, let's race, type of thing.
Oh yeah, he's a cocky 20-something-year-old who sees the older senior guy who's got nice vehicles. Like I could show the old guy up. Yes. I know this scenario.
Let's do this, old man. And then on the left, you see the guys over here. Pappy screeching the brakes because there's a black cat. He doesn't want to run it over. And I guess they must have been towing another car, and it gets all jacked up. But save the kitty. But you look at the art, the cars, the style of the cars and stuff. I mean,
I love it.
You don't see a lot of that now anymore. Everything looks the same, cars and stuff like that.
The way cars are made nowadays, the way even buildings are made nowadays. Like a lot of things had a very specific look that catered to what was being made. Now everything has like a general design, and it's just like, and it's such an unfortunate thing, whether it's for architects or for guys who like to make a really nice like muscle car. Like you don't get that. It's such a missing fork because guys would make that stuff art out of it, and it was glorious to see them try to outdo each other with it.
Doing the car scene was art. I mean, whether you were into the street racing, street rods, gassers, whatever it would be, drag racing, or you were into like lowriders and stuff like that. So the car scene, people think, oh, well, the lowriders are all Hispanics or whatever. Yeah, that generally you're right. But there were car people and other car guys like the speedsters had appreciation for the guys with the lowriders in the 70s and the 60s. They did because there were cars. The lowriders still souped up their engines. They could do stuff. They could burn rubber. They could, lay rubber on the pavement when they wanted to. But and there was no see, like as in today, and I know you know this, that there's forces out there trying to pull people apart, trying to separate people. Back then, cars brought people together. It didn't matter if you were into pickup trucks or you were into van conversions or you were into bucket racers or lowriders. It's a car. And car guys had respect for all car guys. It didn't matter what color you were, what language you spoke, whatever. You know, and now we see that we have people trying to pull everybody apart, and that's wrong. You know, and things like these publications here showed that you could have a Mexican guy and a white guy, you know, getting along just fine. The Mexican guy could be into the hot rods and souped up engines and burning rubber and loud and shit, just as well as the white guy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Well,
And
dude, a lot of the Mexican, they love the American culture, and they just saw as, hey, how can I do it but try to top you?
The
and
thing
that
is,
was fine.
Yeah. When I was growing up as a little kid, my brothers had friends who were Mexican, but they weren't Mexican. They were Americans.
Oh,
and their parents were Mexican from Mexico. They were born here. They were Americans. You know, they were either what they call them, like you had I forget now, but anyway, they were Americans. They considered themselves American, you know, because they were first generation. They were American. Their parents were from Mexico. They were naturalized or whatever, you know. They were Americans, and they you know, because the cars might be a little bit different, it didn't make him any less of an American than the guy that had the drag racer or the souped up pickup truck or the van conversion. You know, it was all you were all one club. You know, everybody was invited.
Oh, look at that color on the left, even with just with the black and white, and still that the fact that they make those green little demons.
The
killer cover.
The gremlins. Those are funny. And there's a photo on one of the things. Actually, the last picture, one of the last pictures I could actually find that Pappy Lemons drew. It has these guys in it. Again,
can I add something to this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So that photo on the left, you know, have you ever gone to like a gift shop, like let's just say, I don't know if you got one by wherever you live. Well, I don't know what country or state you're in, but there's this like if you go like on a truck stop and there's like a gift shop at like the Cracker Barrel per se.
Oh yeah,
and they'll have like a bunch of like old school like signs of things. These look like they would make for great signs to put up on like the wall. You know, they have those old like tin signs.
These
absolutely look like great. These look like they would go really nice like decorations on the wall, especially the cover on the left, especially.
Absolutely.
It brings back such a time. Like, woo.
Yeah, you know what? I live here in Arizona, and I live in Yuma,
Arizona.
Which is like
I've got a few guys down there from the YouTube world.
And Willie P, he's just north of me, about 2.5 hours, 3-hour drive in Arizona. But I'm over here by the border, so I'm about 25 miles north of the border.
Oh, you're not far from where Razor Fist is from, because I'm not sure if you know who he is or if you follow him or not, but he's from Arizona. He's very, very, very well versed in Arizona politics. But he says he's not far. He has not said a specific town, but he says he's not far from the border. And I know he's done volunteer work in Mexico before. So if he's doing volunteer work in Mexico, he can't be far. He can't be far.
He could be living somewhere near the Tucson region. Tucson's not far from Mexico. We're closer, but Tucson's not far. It's the southern part of the border of the state. But yeah, we have a Cracker Barrel here, and that would you're spot on that, man. This would make some great sign art. That one on the left there, black and white. And you notice what type of car that is, right? Those gremlins are on.
Oh, I could not tell
you the AMC Gremlin. That right there. That car right there was the most maligned car back next to the Ford Pinto. But there's pictures of that in these magazines where they souped that car up. This car was actually on several of the Hot Rod cartoon covers, and you'll see that. You'll see it again here pretty soon in another cover. But yeah, that's a Gremlin. It was the U.S.'s answer to like the Datsuns, or the Mazdas, and yeah. Yeah, you'll see it again. But yeah, the artwork, the color is just I think it's just a phenomenal job here. But like I said, these guys are all car guys. They were wrenches, they're mechanics. They loved what they did. And they just happen to be good artists too, several of them.
It
Um,
shows. I mean, you
yeah,
were right when you said that they're mechanics first, artists second, because most artists. It's not like it's anything against a artist, a penciler,
no,
colors, whatever, but they don't get all those little itty bitty details that someone who knows the body of the car first. Like, yeah, you get the basics,
absolutely.
the rims, the tires, but they're
Yep.
not going to think about the front of the
Yep.
grill. They're not going to think about the underneath lower. They're not gonna know
Yep.
what lowering a car is. They're not gonna know about
Yep.
like the axle assembly on the rear. They're not gonna know those like terms.
Yep.
That's beyond that's foreign language to them. So at that point, you're basically speaking Spanish, but with cars.
Yeah. Yeah. It's they had a love for cars, and they definitely loved drawing cars and
Hmm.
situations with cars in them. They really did.
Hmm.
And it shows.
Oh,
And this one's a funny the one on the left, this is one of the magazines we're going to be seeing in the PDF. And it's funny, this cover here, and you can see it better on the PDF, but basically it's a small car. I don't know what kind of a model that might be, but it's a small two-door car. Pappy's in it. It's got a huge ass engine in it. And the guy that's his buddy right there, he's saying that you better shut it off, Pappy. You're gaining on me. Meaning he's filling up the car. It's running. He's using more gas than he can put into the engine. So it's like that's what it was about, man. You know, high-powered engines, man.
I love
Loud,
it.
fast. You know, the more beastie looking, the better. Then over here on the left again, you got guys are working on a car, right? But here comes a chick walking down the sidewalk in their garage, near the garage. And it's like, what? Oh, there's a broad. Okay. He's holding up a freaking 600-pound engine, and Pappy's down there. Holy shit. So, I mean, it's funny stuff, man. It's just the sign of the times. And
Oh yeah,
great
absolutely.
stuff. Great covers. And here's that AMC Gremlin again, right in the front.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and it got
yeah.
this huge ass engine in it, you know, big tires in the back. And it says here, Miss American on the side. It's a chick.
Okay, what I like about the body on the front is this was at a time. This is something that should be noted for those who are listening. The way cars are made nowadays is it's obviously not just a changing of the times, but at the time you had room to get to areas in the car. Now everything is so crammed in, it's
Yes.
nearly impossible. You have to like take apart a few parts, like just to get to a thing. Like it's crazy. Like
Yep.
it's so insane. Back then those cars had all the space to get to things, or at least maybe not all for some instances, but far more than what they do now. Nowadays everything is so
Well,
crammed. Like if I want to get to a
mhm.
starter, I have to take out the battery. I
Yeah.
might have to disassemble some of the bolts
Yep.
from, I don't know, the blah 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 blah, the oh my god, what I was gonna say. I just had a brain fart right now as I was about to
Yeah.
say it,
I know
but
what
you
you mean.
get
I
my
know.
point. You get
I
my
get
point.
your point,
Like
brother.
it's insane, like what you
Yeah.
had to do now just to get to certain
And
parts. Like,
a lot of the stuff, a lot of that has to do with the fact that a majority of the American cars now are
hmm
front wheel drive
hmm
versus back in the day, they were predominantly, if not all, rear wheel drive.
hmm hmm
And so you have a straight six or a straight eight in the engine, you know, in the engine compartment,
hmm
you know, no big deal. You got a drive shaft, you put the big wheels on it, that's where all your power comes from is the rear wheels.
hmm
But now the engines are in sideways because it's front wheel drive. It's like you can't have a souped up, you know, badass car. You have to go to old cars to get the rear wheel drive. All the new stuff, everything is front wheel drive. And to your point, you were talking about getting the stuff. My wife has a car, it's made by Ford. And if I need to take the freaking alternator off and replace it, I
hmm
have to take the passenger side wheel off, and disconnect a frickin' engine mount to take it off. How retarded is that?
It's nuts. Dude. It's freaking nuts.
It's
freaking nuts. Like, I don't get why they do the things that they do with the cars. Like there are times where even you have to take, like, you have to disassemble like one of the headlights, and then before you know it, you have like access to like the batteries, or put in like refill one of the liquids, whether it's like for coolant or for wiper fluid, brake fluid, all the fluids. Or even some of the cars, they make even ridiculous when you want to take out the when you want to do a tune up. I'm getting my names the wires and the what's it
spark
called?
Plugs?
Thank you, spark plug, because you had the spark plugs and wires. Nowadays, like some cars, they normally had it on the top, but now you have some cars, and it usually happens with some of the Ford models. They'll have it slanted towards the dashboard, so you have to get up in the car, and you have to get a weird, awkward angle that could basically be a backbreaker, and hope they can get to it, so you can take those plugs and wires out. And they don't. They're trying, and I'm trying to get an awkward angle, so I don't have to you know, take apart other parts just to get to it. So it's just like, I'm trying to do this to avoid having to do that extra work. Oh, but dude, it's insane.
I had I used to have a Ford Taurus. I don't even know what the frick model year it was.
Yep, sideways engines. Someone's right.
Sideways engine. I had to take the complete top of the frickin' engine off to get access to the frickin' spark plugs in the back. Screw that shit.
I know.
Like, what the hell?
Dude.
But it's all messed up now. It's just messed up. But these guys here, I mean, look at the one on the left. So it's a chick driving, right?
It is.
So it's a chick driving. All the boys are in the back. Pappy's in the front seat. The other guys are in the back seat.
Look at that. A lady literally leading the way with the vehicle with all the men in the back, and she's literally the one in charge. And I'm not saying the literally where it's figurative. This is textbook definition of literally. Look at that.
And the thing is, but women have been so oppressed. Bullshit.
Look at those two covers right there where they are taking the charge. Literally taking the charge.
Yeah, exactly. But people just fucking have amnesia. So here we go. This cover here. So these couple covers. So you see that this cover on the left has the other two guys. I'm assuming they're artists or somebody that works on the magazine. They put them in as characters, but so you see the color on these things here, and it says the road sign, Drag City. They're all going to the drag race. You know, it's like, and you see this on the right hand side. So you notice the sign in the back. It reads, "Run what you brung," or run what you brung. And there was a lot of those things like that. So back in the day, you would go to the track with your gasser or whatever you had, and you could run it. You could drag race other people, hot rodders, stuff like that. That's how drag racing, that's how the NHRA got started. Man, National Hot Rod Association was started because of people doing their own stuff, man. And what a time! What a time! And so here's some stuff
RV style here.
Yeah.
Dude, is that a fireplace in that one? That is a fireplace.
I know, right? Exactly.
Great.
And this is an all van and truck issue. But dude, the vans back in the day, I don't know if you ever heard of this TV show. It's called The Hardy Boys.
I heard of it. Didn't watch it.
Back in the 70s, back in the 1970s, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew Mysteries. Okay. So I forget the name of the two actors, but they were really famous back at that time. Teen heartthrobs, right? They weren't that old at the time, but they had the hair, the look, the clothes, right? They had a bitchin' van, dude. The van was so freaking awesome that they drove around it. A sign of the 1970s, man. Vans were like people were living in freaking vans back then, man. But the fireplace, that's definitely custom.
I love it though. I love it. No, for real though. I love it. And also, as for covers that would never get a pass today, a school bus cover souped up. You will not see that because they'll see that that's offensive to the kids that can be in the
Wait till
bus.
you see the story in one of the magazines we're going to show you. It's funnier than shit. The cartoon. But you look at these old things. You got the van, like you got the bus, right? It's all tricked out. They put this big ass engine in it. It's popping a wheelie with people in it, and you got this guy with this wagon truck, red wagon truck. I think those were made by Ford, if I'm not mistaken, Ford or Dodge. That kind of a, where the hell did the engine go? I don't know, in the back. And there's even pictures of that they did cartoons of like this truck with a huge, like a 12-cylinder freaking engine in the back end. But that's just like, the sign of the freaking times, man. It's awesome stuff. I'm a big van guy. I wish I could have a freaking van. But there's some of the earlier ones. This, like on the right here, this is one of the earlier ones. I think this is a 64 or 65.
Okay.
But you see, he's putting fuel in here, and it's coming out that way and shooting the guy up. Bad mechanic, apparently. And then apparently something happened here. So Pappy's with the buddy, and he's got a gun. He's going to blow his head off. He's going to commit suicide because something went wrong. You would never see any of that here today. Never.
Nope.
That is a big time red flag no, politically correct no. Guy pulls out a pistol, he's going to blow his own head off because he did something wrong, But you don't see stuff like that now. It's not politically correct. And here, this is funny. The one on the right. So you got Pappy's in his car. And there's like these two chicks in their bucket, right? He's following them. He's all looking. And this armored car comes around the corner, drops a bag of money. And he's looking at the money like, screw the chicks. There's a bag of money.
That is a hell of a cover. And it's a very accurate like depiction of like of what a guy does. It's like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm very like kind of like touched emotionally by the fact I see a lady, driving a nice car, but then I see the money. It's a which one.
Exactly.
My emotions are conflicted. And that is where she gets to capitalize and possibly win whatever race is going on because he gets distracted easy. So she'll take advantage of his distraction. So he's his own defeatist in his own right.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then the one on the left, you can see him at the racetrack. They're waiting at the Christmas tree to go, and people are doing stuff in the back, whatever, and they're revving their engines. They're getting so it's like, there's stuff going on, it's like there's a party. People out there rooting for him because back in the day when they were doing this, run what you brung type of stuff at these, and this is all California, man, Southern California, LA, Long Beach, stuff like that. That drag racing, that's where it got its home. Even up until recently, people were still doing stuff like this up on these drag strips, but now it's fucked. It's like, but yeah, I mean, you look at the party that's going on in the stands, man. People are there to see people have some fun. People, they know them, whatever. They want to see some awesome cars. I mean, you don't see that anymore, man.
No, dude, and you're right, and it just shows you like, and what was great with these cars, these are not things you could do with computers, not stuff you could do with technology. It took just a regular common man say, okay, I got some bolts, some screws, some tools. I gotta make this car work. I gotta make it look good because if it doesn't, it's on me, and I'm potentially screwed if this doesn't work.
Yeah.
It took a regular human being to make these cars look good. This is not stuff that technology can do the way an IT could do. Like this just took a regular common guy, just put 2 and 2 together in his head and make it happen.
You can't do this sort of thing with an electric vehicle.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
You can definitely make it explode, but
absolutely.
But, yeah. So let's see here. What's the next one? Okay, here we go. Here's some stuff. So on the left, you see the commotion at the track, and they've got stuff going. This is the funny car. So there's a funny car division. So you see clowns and stuff like this, and some person in Model T, and just a bunch of weird, goofy shit. But but you can see on the sign in the back it says "funny car," today, and so they got everybody. The funny thing is they got this like clown on this like scooter type like go-kart thing in the front on the bottom left.
No,
I
these
mean,
are both these have all been excellent covers. And it shows you all the crazy creative designs. Even when you think you've seen all with all the covers, you see a design you haven't seen yet. Once again, it just shows you the creativity of man.
Yeah.
When
Well,
man
here's the thing.
had to use his brilliance,
Absolutely.
he made it happen. He made it happen.
Yeah. And you see, remember I was talking about lowriders earlier? Is on this cover on the left, the white car on the left,
Yeah.
the dual blowers on a lowrider. I mean,
these are glorious to
there's
look
all
at.
kinds of different depictions. You've got a guy with a lowrider. Next to him looks like it's just like a Camaro with high pipes or a big engine in it. And in front of them, you got a Model A, Model T, or whatever. And the next to it, you've got some kind of like hybrid drag racer, whatever, people Frankenstein together. That's cars, man. That was the sign of the times. And that's what made this comic so freaking awesome, dude.
I could see why people, I could see why, why the boys latch on these. Because, I mean, it's very visually appealing to look at, which is what you want from comic books. It's a visual medium first and foremost. And luckily, it happened to be that these guys were knowledgeable in cars. So it really added to the material. And I love even on the cover on the right, you see all the expressions. You got the guy in the car, but okay, what's going to happen with this vehicle? All the people there who look like they're kind of like the drunk people at the party or at the race, who are just ready to see some loud speed happen. They just want to hear loud noise happen. So I mean, love
it's funny
the emotions going on.
And then you notice the guy in the hat. See the guy in the hat, the Mexican dude? He's always in these freaking pictures, man. It's just somewhere they got that guy. They got that guy in there. But the funny thing is they're all laughing. All these different dudes are all laughing at the guy pulling off the trailer, his drag racer, because in the back you see the sign that says Winter Nationals. He's got skis on the front end. He doesn't have tires.
Oh, I know, dude.
Like a freaking snowmobile. He's got skis.
Glorious. It's freaking glorious. It truly is.
Just some cool stuff.
I love how bright the images are too. I love how like that. Nowadays you get a lot of like muted colors, and that really takes away from like having everything pop out. When you see everything emphasized so much on being so bright, I feel the energy from all these pictures. I can feel them like coming to life, even with their wacky expressions on their faces. I can still believe it all.
And the thing is, it's eye catching. It's really because there's something going on, and you want to look more. It drags you into it. These cover arts, and that's what really sold these magazines, man. You saw the cover art, and it's like, I got to get this. I want to know what's
35 cents. You look at this for I will have paid $1 for this. Straight up, I will have paid $1 in issue. $2 because it's so appealing, visually appealing.
Yeah, and so 35 cents was probably in the 60s, probably 69, 68. The one that I have that's 73, I think it says 50 cents on it. On the cover that I have. Now, this last picture is the last known one that I could find with Pappy. This is from 1980.
Wow. Even then, that's still kick ass.
Yeah.
And I love how they got the wide tires too. They got the wide tires.
Tires, baby. Yeah.
Oh man, that is.
Who knows? That could be a Camaro. That could be a Camaro. Where from looking at the body style, could be a Camaro. And of course you see on the bottom it says Pappy. But he did, and he's got all the gremlins in there. So they're all trying to tear the car up. So
I gotta ask you: is Carter Knockout? Is that supposed to be like the equivalent of? I guess you could say yesteryear's equivalent of WD-40 or PB Blaster, assuming that you know what. Okay, so you know what WD-40 is.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm looking at that because like it says spray, it's Knockout, and there's obviously parts, especially when you work on a car, and there's parts that have not been touched in well. Sometimes they need that additional spray to loosen up
Yep.
a bit,
They need
and
that
then you
lube.
can take right. They need that
They need
lube.
the
Oh, yes,
lube.
they
The
need the lube for
lube.
the tube.
Yeah.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, so this was the last picture that he did. And
Mhm.
so I'm gonna pull up. Now this is where it gets hairy, where I gotta freaking figure out how to put this like share screen stuff. So bear with me for a moment. I'm going to do this here. So I'm gonna
Let's
add
do
that
it.
to the stream. I'm gonna go over here. Maybe. There we go. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so this is the September 1973 issue 54, and you can see in the top right it says 50 cents. This is the issue before mine, and you can see. I can pull this down here. There we go. You better shut it up, Pappy. You're gaining on me. And he's filling up, and you can see the expression on his face now, and the little dude in the side, with the hat.
I know. Okay, I want to know because obviously, okay, so as far as knowing about the writers and the artists,
Yeah,
this is where the normie side of me comes out. Do we
yeah.
know if these guys were from Jersey? Because I only ask because I'm sure it sounds like you're fairly knowledgeable on history and cars yourself. But if you look at the top, and where it says on the serve yourself, that's a
Yeah.
Jersey thing. That's literally a Jersey thing. So I wonder if they're from Jersey and that's just part of the culture, or it's just
Possibly,
something that they decided to do.
it's possible that Pappy Lemons was from Jersey, because if you notice at the bottom, the artist's signature says Thompson/Lemons. So Pappy was the primary artist. So it's possible it could be one of these guys that worked on the art was from Jersey. Very
Yeah.
possible. But I know that this magazine originated in Southern California, so this is all from Southern California. But yeah, that's very possible, man. Very possible that that's the case. But you see such a small car. You see this little car here, 2-door little coupe, and you've got the big ass engine with the huge blower on it. Obviously, the engine was not made for this car. It was, probably a little 4-cylinder. And you see the bottom here in the front with the pipes and all the extensions to lift it to make room for the freaking engine. But yeah, this is some cool art here. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, this PDF, they screwed up this is supposed to be the back cover, the white. But here's the inside cover, and this is funny. Okay, now you see here on the front, it says Hot Rod Cartoon, September 1973, number 54. Sorry, no subscriptions. This was a newsstand/supermarket buy, book. You could only get it if you went someplace physically to buy it.
We need more of that.
You go to a convenience store,
more of that,
or a hot rod shop, or a grocery store, or a place that sold like a newsstand that had newspapers and magazines and stuff. That's where you got these from. But here's the funny stuff. And I read this yesterday. We had a stream yesterday. I read this. So down here in the bottom where it says, or this portion here, it says Tom Medley is the publisher, right? So he classifies himself as a bon vivant, a raconteur, a jet setter, a man about town, con artist, and guardian of the scratch.
I love that, especially the fact they put con artist too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then here, Pappy Lemons, he's the editor and artist. He says he's the pastor upper, letter reader, coffee brewer, wastebasket colonel, picture drawer sometimes, broom pusher, and one pit donkey, whatever the frick that's supposed to mean.
that is another great description. And while we're talking about descriptions, thank you, Abby, someone for writing the chat. Abby said, well, up until the 1980s, you had full service gas stations that pumped your gas, check your oil, and clean the windows. And you know what? I was born in 87, so that's clearly way before my time.
Yeah.
And I'm from Illinois, so that type of stuff is beyond non-existent in Illinois. I don't know if the word service is.
It is.
Service service is a very rare word in the state of Illinois. So
yeah, it's all over the place. You don't see that. because Abby's right. You had you come out, the attendant would pump your gas, he'd check your air and your tires if you wanted him to, he'd check your water level, he would check your oil. I remember that as a kid, man. We would drive I grew up in Southern California, so we'd drive from Southern California to Texas once a year to see family and stuff. And so we would stop along the way. And yeah, the gas stations, man, it's like full service. You didn't pay anything extra, but it was, it's kind of cool, a cool thing. He'd check your windshield wipers. And you know what? If you needed them changed, he'd ask you, hey, you want these changed? It cost, $1 or something, right? To change both of them. Oh, yeah, go ahead and change them. Boom. They'd change them, while you're there at the station. So
Love it.
You don't get that anymore, dude. That's non-existent.
Oh,
non-existent.
Can we make going to places and getting things done? Like, obviously cars still gotta get done, shots, but as far as like gas stations doing that and going to the actual store or station to get a physical magazine, like that is you want to help sell things, don't make everything online. I mean, I get it, online's convenient, it has its advantages, and some people are in a position where they need to remain at home. I get it. But let's not make everything like that. That is how you make the world lazy. Like, give people a reason, give them incentive to come out. If you give people incentive, something is gonna, pull a trigger at their head, say, okay, this looks great. I have to go and get it.
Yeah, Cruel Beer Ab in the chat says that right, peeps, going to have to go to bed. Have a great time on the rest of the stream. Cruel, have a good one, brother. I'm surprised you were even awake. Have a good day. Well, it's already tomorrow over there, so have a good one, my friend. So so here's another thing. As we go through this this inside cover, you see this picture here. That's Pappy Lemons right there.
Oh,
now,
nice.
I will tell you this, and Abby can probably verify this. That scooter he's riding right there, dude, those were so freaking fun. That's a freaking lawnmower engine, dude. That's a lawnmower engine. That's what you call the mini bike. And we used to freaking go ape shit with those. And you had the brake, there was no shifting, dude. It was like you hit the gas or you broke, and that was it. And sometimes you'd fall off and break something. But these little mini bikes, they weren't scooters, they were mini bikes. There was no governor on these. They could wind out as fast as that engine could go. Cool little guys. So this is a funny cartoon. So it's him right there. And this is during of course, a gas crisis. He says 70 miles to work each day. Sheesh. This is beating the gas shortage the hard way. And he's on a freaking scooter death trap right there.
I love
donuts for tires, but yeah, it's a cool thing. And then they had a thing called the Pest Entry, and the Pest Entry was basically people would write in to the magazine. They would write into the magazine, ask questions, and then they would get answers. So they would have this in the magazine too. Usually it's about 2 pages. And so you had people here with freaking addresses and stuff. And people were sending in stuff from Australia. This magazine apparently had circulation in Australia.
That is some reach, especially this is pre-internet. That makes it even more impressive.
I bet you 10 to 1, these are American military bases. Because you look down here, you go a little bit farther down, you see on the right-hand side, it says West Germany.
Okay.
I bet you 10 to 1, somebody from United States military base in Germany wrote in because they were getting it there. So yeah, there's all kinds of interesting stuff here. Like I said, it's about 2 pages that they have, maybe 3, depending on how many letters they would get. Now, this is a funny story here. So you see the art. This art is actually by this guy, Errol McCarthy. Is the artist. So this is called The Good Old Days. So this is Pappy, the guy reading the book, and you see the little guy in the hat. And you see the big guy. So it's the same 3 characters, right? So this is a good read. And we were screwing around with this yesterday, and Willie fucked me up on this one because, but But I was trying to read this, and it was kind of funny, but
Eats a Woody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Eats a Woody. That's the little dude, it's the little guy saying that, right? And
Oh,
so
that's
Pappy's all
hilarious.
depressed. Pappy's all depressed, and he's talking about the good old days. You know, this is a 32, and then somebody says, "I didn't know they had 32 Fords in 1909." Shut up, Lugnut. So whatever. One of these guys' names is Lugnut, so I don't know.
Probably the little guy. He looks like a
Probably
little
the
lug
little
nut.
guy. Yeah. And this was actually kind of an interesting read because it's funny, but it actually hits a point. And I think it's a point that hits today because you see what in this bubble here, he says, our cars were a labor of love. But now, come on, let's go. And then the other guy's trying to get him to, hey, come on, let's go drive in and, drown your sorrows, whatever, right? What's bugging you, Pappy? And nowadays, you all got to do is they drive around and go down to your local showroom. Hey, Pops, want a drag? Of course. And then you got these screaming, it's Pappy, and you're on. And you see
Awesome.
the drag race on the
Awesome.
side right
Awesome.
there.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, dude. Everybody
Ka-chack.
wants
Ka-
to,
I
yeah.
like that ka-chack. I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
Ka-chack. Wait, hold on. Ka-hack. Let me correct
Ka-hack.
myself. Ka-hack. I've never heard of ka-hack
Oh,
before.
man. Yep. So, yeah, so they end up going down to whatever drive-in they're at. And this is in the 70s. So they still had these things going on with car hops and stuff.
Mhm.
Kind of like, what do they call it? Rallies. You ever go to a rally burger? They have
We don't
carpet.
have we don't
Rally?
we don't
No,
have
was
those
it
out here.
Sonic.
We have a Sonic out here. We
Sonic
have
used to have people go out to your cars. You'd order
they
right there, but then it would bring it to you.
I think they still do that. We do have a Sonic a half
Yeah.
hour from me. I used to live close to that area. Oh
Yeah.
god, it's been like 10 years. When
So-
I went there 10 years, they a lady rollerbladed it to me. That's what
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a thing if they did it during your time, but yeah, I remember when I last had a lady rollerbladed it to me. So she came
Yeah.
on rollerblades and brought it to me, which I would never trust myself with rollerblades and food, but you know, anyone who could do that has my respect because I would be too
Right.
paranoid to do that.
Yeah, here's the funny thing was you notice in the signage over here behind this car hop, it says
Mhm,
try a Gremlin Crunch or
mhm,
a Mega Float or a Pinto Burger. I
mhm.
mean, no, that doesn't say Mega, that's a Vega Float. Oh my God.
What's a Vega float?
Vega was a car. A
Oh, okay,
Gremlin,
okay,
a
okay,
Vega,
okay.
and a
Oh, yeah,
Pinto
yeah.
were all car names, man. Oh,
Okay.
shit. But yeah, so it's funny because now you see him bitching in his mind. He's like, and it's going to get worse. Pretty soon, you'll even be able to order whatever he's talking about you want. And then the
Mhm.
chick interrupts him. Yeah, you want to order some eats, sport, or pay for parking? Oh. And here's this is what I was talking about. Not only will all cars look alike, they'll all be all exactly as fast. Competition won't mean nothing no more.
Whoa. Wow.
This is 1973. I mean, were they freaking psychic?
Oh, I
Think
know,
about it.
right? It kind of reminds me of it's like They Live, but with cars.
Yeah,
It's They
exactly.
Live with cars.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
how dare there be no
Absolutely.
competition? It's got to be a world where
Yeah.
nothing means anything.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
man, it's almost like they're trying to tell us something. Like, hey, pay attention.
Yeah. And you see in this top frame here, and he's like, oh, give me the good old days. What's that? He's slurping and he says, oh, look, looks like the good old days have come back. I'm in shock. And he's like, dumping his burger and whatever. You see a bucket out there and, all tricked out. And yeah, it's got white walls, like, holy
Oh
shit.
yeah, white wall. Usually,
Yeah,
I know that's
that's got
usually
white walls.
nowadays. I think to my knowledge, I think only BF Goodrich does that to this
Yeah,
day. I mean, maybe the occasional Goodyear, maybe, but usually nowadays it's usually Goodrich that does that with their tires.
yeah,
But yeah, that was a very common design, and it always made your car look nice when you had that white wall design,
yeah,
especially when you went to do a car wash. That it always looks cool on a visual level with your car.
Right.
Especially when the
Yeah.
wheels are moving, like seeing that white
Oh, yeah.
spin.
Yep.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
That was a good strip right there. And they had another one called The Smoke Run. And again, a different artist. So you could see, and this is prevalent in the magazine. So different artists did different sections. And you know, they poked fun at everyday shit, you know. So like so you know, and there's different stuff about getting pulled over by a cop and you know, stuff like that, you know, one liners. Could you wait just to the end of the tape, officer? Because they're listening to probably an 8-track. A
Yeah.
freaking 8-track. You know, you got the Department of Motor Vehicles up here. We better put Hank on a desk job. He's been on the line too long. He's wearing a freaking pseudo armor for a driving test. You know, just stuff like that. And then you got 2000 BC. So, you know, it's like, oh, look, he's got a hot rod
Look,
cartoons magazine.
even the Bigfoot type of creature wants to look
Yeah.
at the hot rods.
I know, right? The old caveman. So, yeah, and he falls down and smashes his face.
Oh man, that is
And it's
great.
all black and white except for the covers. Everything was black and white, you know. Yeah, it's this is some good stuff in these, you know, magazines.
Was this a monthly magazine or
It was primarily, yeah. Because
okay?
this is the September issue. I have the November issue. So the one that came out right after this. But we're gonna see that's on the PDF too. And we're gonna take a look at that.
Okay. Okay.
So and then so you have like things like this. This is they're referencing the gas thing. So until one day a strange thing happened. Jesus, empty, no gas. And service stations weren't much help. Get a horse, the guy says, and you're pushing your ride. No gas today, you know. And things look pretty black. Gas shortage, winter nationals may be canceled, you know. And then so with nothing to do on a hot rodder, a hot rodder began walking down the road. Ha ha ha! That Dewey is really weird. And it's kind of a call that doing the same thing as the one of the first scene of the caveman guy reading the book too. The moral of the story is people who sneak into the pits and paid to get out shouldn't throw stones. People who sneak into the pit and pay to get out shouldn't throw stones. Oh God! And then they would poke fun at some films and stuff like this. So they would take pictures of movies and put these weird captions in the groovy movie section. So here you have this is the Great Race with Tony Curtis, Tony Curtis and stuff like that, and Jack Lemmon. I think that's the guy on the car is Jack Lemmon, the guy in the top hat. What do you mean? What city is this? It's the Paris.
Of course, yes.
And then you have this here. You got this one here. It's like the gas class, and yeah, different type of art. So they had different people doing art. I'm trying to figure out if there was a name on this. I don't think there is, unless it's at the end. You have these strips. It's mostly drag racing stuff. But sometimes they'll put right here, Nelson Dewey. So that's the artist in the bottom left-hand corner of this frame.
Well,
that's the artist, Nelson Dewey.
Dude, I like the way the shards are just popped out and flipped over, like the shards at the top. They're all like kind of hanging over and not like usually shards shouldn't be doing that, but it's fun because you could just roll that for the ridiculousness of a comic book because absolutely just is to make things that are not real be believable and just go with it. You don't need to put logic together with every little thing. Yeah, exactly. And so then here's another one, and this is Smoke Run, and this is funny. He says, before I retired, I worked at an accordion factory. So he's got this freaking van, and he's got all these different pop outs that are like accordions and stuff.
So there's that. Again, this is smoke run. And so you read the thing, it says Colt 45, and he's got one of those tilt forward engine hatches. And it says, that's the weirdest hood release I've ever seen. It's a Colt 45.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this was an interesting, magazine. And they had art like this, which is almost like primitive,
Yeah.
They like primitive. So they went from like complete freaking like, awesome quality to primitive,
Mhm.
but that was it. It was such a mix of artwork by different talents,
Mhm. Mhm.
Some of this stuff looks like the guy just was in the bar and he scrolled it on a napkin. I mean,
Mhm.
but it's still cool, it
Oh,
still
yeah.
conveys the point and
Oh,
everything,
absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely. It does. No. I it seems like that's kind of the point of these type of stores. It seems like it's trying to be more dialed down. It's meant to be
Yeah,
more simple. So, and if that's the approach that you're going for, then then obviously that makes a lot more sense.
yeah,
So I can definitely roll with it. Like obviously I like the more super detailed stuff better, but there's definitely stuff to love. Like look even on this one, you can
yeah,
still see the vehicle still
yeah,
looks great.
yeah,
You can still tell like it's supposed to be a really nice
yeah.
vehicle. You
So
can still
he's taking a camshaft. He's got this long camshaft. He's got
hmm
freaking bolt cutters. And he
hmm
says, "What do you got? A 6 or an 8?" So he's cutting down a camshaft to put in the car. So, it's stuff like that, Then you
Oh
have
yeah.
this. You have
Ooh.
this stuff here.
These look like see now it's kind of look like it's remind me of like the type of art style that you see like I guess like comic strips like when I look at like Chicago Tribune pages when I was a kid because I used to live in Chicago when I was a kid and one my parents worked at a hospital so I would just dig through the papers and look at the comic strips I'd see stuff like Dilbert and this art kind of takes
Yeah,
me back to that with the way the logo
yeah,
style is and the like big fat balloons of words, quick
yep,
stories. Look at the tires literally say fat and tire
yeah,
on it.
exactly, exactly. He's got like a
W-
VW looking car there.
Way to be
Um,
on the nose.
yeah, and then you read the thing on the top. It says wanted prune peeler. He's reading the want ads. Yuck.
Hmm
Pump jockey. Ugh. Fresh air inspector. Pooey.
hmm
Cartoonist. Double pooey driver. you know.
hmm
So you have stuff like this, and it's a sign of the times. Guy's a garage mechanic. Driver only experienced need apply. Wow, man,
hmm
that's for me. Why driving ain't nothing like work. Here I am, number one wheeler jockey at your service, sir. So you figure you're a driver, eh, boy? Okay, let's
I like
have
how
a
he
test
put
drive.
smart Alec. Like
Yeah.
oh, it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. But it's stuff like this, and it, it's just he sees this card right here.
hmm
Um, you know, we can use my wheels across the street. Smart Alec, you pimply kid. He's puffing on a cigar. Uh, but yeah, like the fat tire on there, and it says, "Hey, you read this on the fender. It says, "Don't bug me."
Don't bug.
Ah, ah,
Nah.
ah,
I love it. See, we
it's
need more humor like that again.
freaking
We need
funny.
the on the nose, really, really hilarious, like simple. Because if you think it's really simple, but it's effective, and
Yeah.
that's ultimately what matters is when it's
Yep.
effective. You don't have to be
Exactly.
too crazy thought out. Obviously, there's a time and a place for it in the world, but if you can be very simple and direct with your statement, bro,
Yeah.
when it hits, it hits.
Yeah. Yeah. And you look at the art here, like the guy's like freaking out. He's all like screaming, cigars flying out. Help!
hmm
you know, it's just, and you look at the detail too of the truck. You see
hmm
the tires, the gas tank, and the bumper and the grill. The grill says Mo on it.
Mo,
Oh,
that's
like,
good.
holy shit. Oh.
See, there's clearly they're obviously they're very self-aware when they're
Yeah,
making the stuff, and it shows on each page. Every
yeah, it
single
does.
page.
It does.
A funeral
It does.
parlor. They even dress the vehicle for the occasion. Oh
Uh,
man.
yeah. Now he's like, well, boss, what do you say? Do I get the job? Well, I have a friend who could use someone like you. Oh,
I love it.
let's
I
see.
love
Oh,
it.
yeah, here we go.
Oh,
One,
look, the vehicle's number 13. Look at that.
yeah,
Very
exactly.
unlucky number.
At last, somebody has realized my full potential. Very fast cab company. And this artist is John Larter. So John Larter did all this. That's pretty cool stuff. And that's classic comic book art right there, man.
Yes,
I mean, you look at the styles and everything. It's just, these are hidden gems. And again, they would do these things with the groovy movie stuff, and they would have scenes and put some, crazy caption there. Like they got these goofy, and it's someone else, right? So it's something different by Nelson Dewey. So this is Nelson Dewey. He's doing the military recruiting, but they're doing this is actually kind of funny because the all volunteer army started in the 70s. The service scene takes a long look at all volunteer army, and the premise is they're trying to get people to get in the army. So that the spoof is it's will you enlist if, hey man, I'm your drill instructor, but I'd like to think of you as just your pit crew chief. This is where you'll be issued your military ID card and your complimentary Exxon card. Carrier to escort ships. Prepare for water rescue procedures. It's time for the regular weekend drags again.
Out at sea. Oh, that is amazing.
Oh my God, motor pool. When you get a chance, would you mind having a go at fixing this tank? But only if you feel like it.
Oh, this is excellent.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just stuff like this was funny,
I miss the way people drew noses like this.
Oh yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah.
Oh, noses like
it's
this
just
are so funny.
So they're at the induction center. He says, "Okay, man, that swearing-in ceremony was rough. Take an extra week's R&R at the Baja 1000, then report to your boot camp." Leadfoot camp. Oh, it used to be called boot camp.
This is great.
God.
Wow, this is
It's
awesome.
a new rating. Tire wiper, first class.
Wow, they knew how to write humor so well too.
Oh yeah, it's just
I love it.
When you go through this, it's just you can't win them all.
Dude, I'm
so the
entertained by
artwork and
this.
stuff. But you look at it, the quality of the art. And again, these are all car guys, so this is car related, cops chasing people. And then wait, this is funny. Okay. So they can't win them all. So this guy's speeding. Listen to that. I'm gonna pull him over. Another wild hot rodder. Careful, he doesn't give us the slip, Ed. That's him parked there. So they were in the corner to see him. He's parked, right? So they give out. Driving kind of fast, weren't you, son? Hello, officer. And that muffler doesn't come up to city ordinance, but you can't let people run around breaking the speed limit, this old guy says. But
as the old guys
what
walking
for,
by.
Fuzzo? Them young punks need it. Huh? And he bails out.
The boomer walks
That wasn't your car. No, sir. I'm walking.
Oh man, that is the perfect ploy. That is
fuck. Yeah.
Wow. This
Yeah.
is
It's just,
hilarious.
and then you see art like this. So
Oh,
this is kind of like
Twilight
more like
Zone.
more like the 60s style, like big puffy stuff,
Who
big
thought the
the
Twilight Zone and Cards would be
psychedelic.
the
Yeah,
same
exactly.
sentence? Wow.
Exactly. So yeah. Uh, yeah, it's just a different art. This is I think the guy's name was Miller, the artist down here, bottom right hand. So the
Yeah.
artist was
Looks
for
like it
that
says
was
Miller.
Miller,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
Super
Superman
Rich,
font. Yep,
and
Superman
then
font.
they did with this here.
Hey,
The Super Wrench, super funny. Yeah,
Lemon Car Bible. Ha, I get it.
yeah, Lemon's Car Bible. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is an interesting strip. This was a reoccurring. Super Wrench was a reoccurring character, a pun on Superman. It's I won't go through. So I want to get through this because I know you got limited time. So,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a funny strip, a spoof on Superman again. Um, and this is one written by a Barnett artist by the last name of Barnett.
Oh,
So and
okay.
he did Super Wrench, and it's pretty funny because the guy's a moron.
Mhm.
Super Wrench is an idiot, and yeah, it's just you read it and it's funny.
I love this. I
Pest
absolutely
entries,
love
girly
Unsting.
talk, and stuff like this. You see people that send in stuff from California, Texas, Florida, New Mexico, wherever,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, Indiana, Missouri. Um, so, Good night with Vernon Wimple. This is another Nelson Dewey strip. So this is Nelson Dewey character.
Smack.
Yeah,
Smart. I
yeah.
love these
We
smacking.
haven't. Yeah, he smashes his nose on the concrete right there.
Ah, perfect nose gone. No longer perfect nose.
I know, right? Mr. Gretchen, I think I love you. But now the one I want to get to, the thing I think you'll love this when I get to this down here in the bottom. But where is it? No, it's not this guy. This guy's in a lot of them. This character here, this kid with his old car. Check that out. What the hell, dude? He's got this. It's all like lowrider jacked up and everything. Front brake. More Canadian cut up. So these are, I guess, Canadian is the Canadians where the Canada's where the guy's from. John Larter. Yeah, he must be Canadian.
Okay,
So,
okay. Man, I wonder if this is like a look. Hold on. Look at this. It says very tired.
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, that is
Very tired.
amazing. Oh, look,
And this
bat
is like the Edsel. Yeah.
thingamajig, bat muffle,
Kind of
bat
oil, bat
spoiler,
oil, Batman.
bat
It is
thingamajig.
spoof on Batman. Yeah, and the Batmobile.
Oh, hilarious.
Oh, here we are. This one here. Bug bouncing down on the farm, on the old farm. So this is like your country hayseed guy working on his sand rail. But yeah, the one I want to get you to is down here. I think you're gonna appreciate it. This thing will keep on going. Oh no, not that, not that, not that, not that. That's good stuff, but that's not what I want. Oh, there we go. Granny Magoo. Bus fuss. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, Granny.
My golly, there's just the type of employment I'm looking for. Chauffeur for a senior citizen courtesy bus. She's heading down with her old Model A. So you certainly have the qualifications, okay? The job is yours. Awesome. So big Jip shopping center. An old folk coffee shop. What the hell?
Totally not a red flag.
No.
The big Jip.
Yeah, the big Jip. So hop in, kiddos, and save on the wear of your canes. Okay, so she's on the old time courtesy bus, right? So all the seniors are getting in, right? And so hang loose. I'm going to put a little excitement into those old folks.
Hello,
this
great
guy's back
power.
here. I know.
Be a senior citizen. Try it. You'll like it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh man, this is
Yeah,
freaking
but
funny.
yeah, and it gets better. So here they go, right? So this guy cuts them off and they slam on the brakes, right? Screech, stud outs, crash, thump. And these guys are laughing. Thunk! And so the bus is all jacked up, and here's the end. Those those rotten rowdies are gonna pay for this. Little Granny's all pissed off. So here she goes. No sweat, Granny. This old greaser's due for an overhaul. Anyway, I just happen to have a V12 Allison I can slap in. Later on, with 40% load of nitro ought to bring tears to those eyes. 40% nitro with an Allison 12 banger in the bus. So here we go, right? So they're like, don't stop now, Granny. Woo! What fun!
I love how all these boomers
rebel.
are now all in on it. These boomers are all in on this. They should be the most terrified, but they're all in on it.
Yeah. Oh, I know of a place where we can get more action. He's like, yeah, let's go. And they're at the drag race. Magoo's Rapid Transit and some dude in a van. We can't help having a class winner, and the man is gonna cost them a bus full of trophies.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Wow. This
Granny
is
McGo likes to drag race.
I would never we had the Superman, we had the Batman, we have Grandma.
We have Grandma, dude. You know that old Beatles song, Little Old Lady from Pasadena?
Yeah, oh, of course.
That's probably where they got that, was from old ladies like this that like to lace some rubber.
Oh, yeah. No, you may be onto something with that.
Yep.
Could have been the spark plug to their imagination. I just had a car reference.
Yeah, there you go, man. Look at you.
I know.
Let's see here. Trying to think something's not right here. Let's go. I'm gonna go back here for a second.
Sounds great.
What's going on here? All right, that's not the one I wanted. And come on. There we go. Okay. So this is my book. This is the cover I should have, but I don't have anymore. This is the one. This is the edition. This is number 55. Is right after the one we just looked at. So this is, this thing's all over the place. So here you got Pappy's Clean Machine, powered by clean burning LP gas. So they're in the snow, and he's over there having some eggs. He's got a heat lamp, another heat lamp with toast. He's got a grill with coffee brewing on it.
I like the whole setup. Even in the snow, there's a whole proper setup.
There is, yeah. But look at the detail to the cars, dude.
Oh,
like the freaking snow on the tires, the chrome underneath the back of the yellow car with the chrome freaking shocks, and just it's just funny. And then his grand, that's my freaking avatar right now.
Great avatar to have.
The great avatar, yeah. So this guy's over here eating a cold sandwich, the dude in the hat. But so again, they have this the same
credits, the same credits
for the same guys. Yeah. Now this is funny. This picture down here, we can't go on meeting like this, Grace. So meter maid writing him a ticket, and he's.
I like how it's in the. When you look at it almost sounds like it's a relationship issue, but then we actually look at the picture of it's because he's doing this whole ticketing thing.
Yeah, exactly. She's a feeder maid. There's a Gremlin. Mail run. Look at that engine in that Gremlin, dude. Fucking big old tires on it.
That thing is a monster.
I know, right? When you fixed them up, they were good. Stock, they were crap. But this again, the pest entries. Now, I did photo scans of my book, So you see the missing piece here. So this is
Yeah.
actually my book. I photo scanned and put that up here. So we'll run through all of this. And again, you'll see. Now this is out on a limb. Now this is a funny one. This was done by Errol McCarthy. So we saw the other one that was done by Errol McCarthy, which was really, the style, right? So the style of it was much crisper and everything. This is the same artist doing slightly different style. If you look at it, I mean, it's similar, but he's changed it up a little bit. This is funny. This is direct relationship to gas crisis. So they're pulling into a gas station. Says, "Okay, Clyde, there's your limit, 3 gallons." And down here it says 3 gallons. That's not enough to drive to the next station. There's a gas shortage, Pappy. And 85 cents a gallon. He freaks out. 85 cents?
Man.
Cash, credit card, or do you want to make payments?
We're here begging for prices like that on our knees.
Oh my
style.
God, yep.
Straight up.
Well, back then, 85 cents a gallon. I mean, the normal price was probably half of that at best. And then the other guy says, "It's supply and demand, Pappy." And so down here in the one it says, a very short time later, "Smart alecky gas jockey." "What's that?" "Slup, cuff, wheeze. We're out of gas already. This can't go on. I'll go broke." So he's like, "What do I do? I can't afford to drive no more. I'll show the world. I'll walk." "Walk? What is this walk?" The short dude.
Ease this walk. That is hilarious. Look at all the money.
Look at all the money I'll save. Walking is what primitive man did. Jeez. No gas, no insurance, no tires. 1, 2, left, right. He hurts. Put your feet like this. 2 blocks later. My dogs are throbbing. Walking just ain't natural.
Youch and caramba, dude. That's
Yeah.
this is hilarious.
Yeah. So
the pains unhinged
his mind. Hey, look at that. Gives me an idea. Pappy's fleeped. Sooner than you'd think. There it is, folks. The car of the future. It burns wood, coal, old comic books, and other worthless stuff. You might call it a locomobile. Loco is right. Somebody better tell him about old comic books.
Yeah.
So
someone should tell about old comic books. Like these ones.
He's got this he's got this freight train freaking engine. All we got to do now is steam down to the local lumber yard and hand me a last of that wood. Fill her up. This for one lousy log. Wood's getting mighty scarce, bub. Pardon me, sir. I have a petition from the Ecological Council for preserving our natural resources. And what you looking at, Pappy? I think I just had another great idea. Did you ever consider a hot air balloon? Or a hot air engine? Oh my God, he's looking at wind power. But so, and again, they have this here. And here's your political incorrect. This one right here. For these Mazdas, we have to call our specialist.
Oh, Lordy.
You ain't going to see that ever again. Nope. Now, this is a funny one. It's just funny. So there's a drag race. It's running in the sun. So there's some people protesting men at a drag race, right? Men are dirt, no good, blah, blah, rotten slobs, blah, 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 all that stuff. And so this drag racer guy's sitting there, getting ready to go, and he sees the broad the big sign. Let me introduce myself. I'm Nelson Nettie. Nice day, isn't it? Huh? Gosh, he spoke to me. Want to see a dragster with solid valve lifters?
It's almost
Gee.
like they try to like a lot of them believe at the time that they were told that they were bad because they were told to believe that men were bad. So they
Yeah,
actually spoke to one like, oh hey,
yeah,
look, he's not so
yeah.
bad after all.
Right.
And then when the guys say, oh, he said be cool to young chicks, it's
Yeah,
not like guys weren't being taught things when they were
yeah,
younger. Like
exactly.
sure, guys do a lot of
Yeah,
crazy shit and get things
yeah.
wrong, of course, but
Right, right, right.
it shows you they were still listening, even though a lot of us were admittedly hotheads at the time.
Yeah, and so you get that there, and so she's all like,
Oh, she's over the
enamored.
moon about him
So
now.
now you stand right here while I take a little spin. Anything for you. Anything you say. So Nelson was an ace driver, but somehow he misjudged strip conditions and began going up in smoke. That's where it gets good. Sometime later, hey, look, he's moving. Yeah, which way? So just then, a chunk of hot asphalt broke loose. Bing!
Damn.
And whacked
Ooh.
an unsuspecting hot rodder right in the in the pits.
Hello,
Wow.
15 lawsuits in
So
2022 over that.
causing him to fumble his bucket full of used heat risers, toss. So it lands right on the chick, hits her in the head. She goes running, freaking out. Falls off the freaking cliff right into a freaking a cannon at some, human cannonball show. She gets shot out of the cannon. Did you see that, Ralph? Yeah, some people will do anything to get a can of our instant sticky goo. Meanwhile, back at the
Phrasing.
strip
Emphasis
meeting.
on phrasing.
Oh my god, dude. So
Oh,
this was
hilarious.
slicker than I thought. The only known remedy for this situation is a can of instant sticky goo. Splash. So all this chaos is going on, and so now she gets men are no bleep bleep good. Gee, what's the matter, Velma? Didn't you see me qualify? Men are pigs, and she's all screaming at the guy. Oh God! It's basic hot rodding. This didn't for some reason didn't focus when I took picture of that one. But
Yeah, it happens.
cool stuff in cars. I mean, but these things were great for the time. Look at this freaking car, man. That's freaking awesome. And I'm sure if this was color, I bet that dark stuff on the side right there, that's probably wood or wood look at some point. And then you got this. There's your surfboard.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice. Kind of a woody. And then you have the bucket, the old buckets. And a funny thing, this is a funny car. Thing. Engine's in the driver compartment, he's up in front. So the motor's in the back. So, but they said the smoke run type of guys, and they got the lifted trucks.
Yeah.
Van, powder puff derby. And then you got
dragon.
yeah, wheeling and dealing. So you got a
great.
bunch of different stuff, and like I said, there's so many different artists that contributed to this stuff like that. You got a guys in desert island, the freaking cop comes up to give him a ticket, but they're putting the engine in the car. What happened if you didn't make it? Yeah. Sheesh, I knew this would happen if I didn't make it street legal. Cops coming out, give him a ticket.
A rat that the tic tac was installed. Oh lordy.
Yeah. You don't see any of this stuff like that, and then like all the different
Melody is the name.
Yeah. Yeah. Got an organ on the back of his car.
Mhm.
So I mean, this it's all about. He's got his airbag in the back for his drag racer. So with a big old huge pipe on the side. Holy crap! Pooch poacher. Treat your dog, dude. I'm like what the hell? It's like it's got a tail in the back. Woof! And you see the tail back there.
Oh
Shit.
yes, without the paws on the bottom. That's freaking that's freaking awesome. That's freaking
women's
great.
canine, a women's lib type dog catcher. Spends her weekends at the local strip. Oh my god!
Oh, I know.
I'm a neurotic.
Did you catch the comment in the private?
You know what? I did not because I can't even see my screen.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I only have one screen, so when I do the
okay.
share, it blocks it out.
Okay.
So I have my cell phone next to me and I can see the actual stream, but I don't see the private chat.
No, unfortunately, it's gonna be the part where I've got to cut out.
You got to take off. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brother.
No, it's okay.
Hey, I'm so glad you were able
entertaining. These are freaking entertaining. Seriously,
it's good
very
stuff.
Entertaining. I definitely have been very, very happy to see all the humor and the glorious artwork and the parodies and the oh man and the colors. Just
the cover art
definitely opened me up to a whole new world with this.
Yeah, the cover art is awesome, and there were other hot rod magazines that were out there as far as for cartoons and stuff like that. This was just one of them. So, but this is the one I had. I thought this would be interesting to discuss with you. I thought it would be a good subject because it's like comic book, it's car, it's old school, no, pre-political correctness like forever,
No revisionist history attached.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
absolutely. No, I appreciate you inviting me on here to talk about this stuff. This has been a very, very entertaining 90 minutes of all this greatness. I do appreciate your time, sir. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
thank you
I
very
really
much.
appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate it. I've been watching some of your old videos and stuff from back in doing the food critiques and stuff, which are cool. And you sir have come a long way, and you have a lot to be proud of, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, keep it up, dude. You know how to keep a show going. You know how to tell a story, what you got going with the slideshows. So just keep at it, keep grinding. There's gonna be days where it's gonna stress the hell out of you, but I'll tell you what, man, it's absolutely worth the journey, because there was a time when I started this stuff, I'd be lucky if I had maybe 10 views on a video. Now I'm hitting triple digits minimum with all my videos. And like I said, I remember, and that was 2.5 years ago. So it's really crazy to see where everything is going. So just keep at it, Wookie.
Man.
And then one day, who knows? Maybe I'll have to get you on a Toxic Tuesday. Yeah,
there you go. I watched your Toxic Tuesdays. You got Clobbering Times on there, and
one of my best guys, man. He's one of the best guys in the hood. Yeah, Clobby's my guy.
Yeah. I've streamed with a couple people that have been on his streams before. So,
he's one of the best. Seriously,
he does Doctor Who stuff, doesn't he, as well?
He does some. I mean, I'm not as well versed as he is. He's really well versed in that. So, he's really well versed in Doctor Who, Star Trek, Marvel, DC. I'd say those are his main four, and then maybe the old school NFL. Those would be his categories. But no, seriously, that dude is one of the best guys I know in the area. But anyways.
Dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time out to be on my channel and on my stream. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor, my friend.
Likewise, and
hopefully we can do it again. Someday.
I would love to reunite someday. All right, dude. You have a good night. You have a great rest of your weekend, And of course, we'll be in touch on Twitter's chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to us, and make sure you're subscribed to
man.
Wookiee Fever Presents if you're somehow listening and you're not sub. So help this guy out.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nick. Have a good night, man.
You too. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Willie, are you there?
Right.
Come in.
Yeah.
Did you wake up? Are you awake now?
Oh, I'm good. I'm going to be heading out too.
Well, there you go. This is not my normal time of streaming, so yeah, I hear you. So, yeah, hell, I had a good time. I was able to do the shit that I wanted to do last night. Thank you very little. No, it's all good. It's all good, brother. Hey, I really appreciate you being here, man. How's things?
Hey, no problem. Things are going. Things are going. About to get the little ones to rest. That's about it.
Yeah, it's about that time. It's bedtime, brother.
Yeah.
Yep. I got to eat dinner and head to the sack too. I got to freaking get up in the morning for work.
Well, get your ass to bed. Have a good night,
right?
man.
All right, you too, my friend. Take care.
All right, bud.
All right. We'll see you. And everybody, have a great night. Thank you for coming in. Please remember to like and subscribe. And please leave a comment down below. I will be posting this. It should go right in after this is done. It'll be online. So if you want to post a comment, if you haven't had a chance. But again, please like and subscribe. And we will look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good day.